Well, congratulations. If you're watching this video, it means you've gotten funding or you've gotten an email saying that the funds are on their way. We are thrilled for you because it's been a very, very stressful time. It's been frustrating. We have not had great guidance or great information, but at least now we can start the process of documenting the spending of these funds. And the purpose of documenting and spending them properly is so that these loans can be converted to grants, or these loans can be forgiven, which means they've been converted to a grant, which means you don't have to repay them. So the most important thing, of course, is that you email us, as you have been, letting us know that the funds are on their way, or that the application's been accepted, or that there's money in your account. And the purpose of that is really so that we can celebrate with you. Thank goodness that we've got some relief and we've got some financial help. Okay, the next thing is we take a deep breath and we understand that you want to make sure you're spending it right away. And there's been a lot of discussion about how much do I spend? How quickly do I spend? When do I start spending? What do I spend out of which batch of funds? And it's complicated, but we've got you covered. So first of all, once you're funded, you have 10 days to begin using the funds according to the rules and guidelines. And remember, a lot of this is intent. You intend to use them properly. You intend to follow the guidelines. And I know that's correct and true, but you're nervous. So always think about, what do I intend to do before you start doing? And if you need to, you give us a call, you email us, we're here to help. So number one, you let us know. Number two, after we shout hooray, you start by opening up a file folder on your desktop. And most of you are familiar with this process. You create one big file folder and you call it COVID-19 supporting documentation. Within that folder, I'd like you to create 3 folders. One will be for the Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP funding. One will be for the EIDL funding. And one will be for various grants that you hear about that either are from a public or private foundation that you may be eligible for based upon your circumstances. So 3 file folders within the main. And what kinds of documents are going to go into each one? You're going to put in a copy of the bank statement circling the funds so that you can trace. Remember, we're tracing where these funds came from and where they're going. So you're going to want that. You're going to want support of how you spent the money. And again, you're spending it according to the rules and guidelines so that you can get the maximum amount of the loan converted to a non-repayable grant. Okay. Number 3, you're going to want to have copies of a signed lease, an invoice from an expenditure, whether it's the health insurance that you pay monthly, whether it's the utilities bill, whether it's malpractice insurance. The supporting documentation is not just, oh, I paid Oxford. It's the invoice charging you for having health insurance for your staff and your company. Okay, so it's really important that you create a trail for somebody else to come along, a stranger, to come along and look at and say, oh, okay, they spent the money on employee benefits. They spent the money on payroll costs. They spent the money on rent based upon a signed lease and so forth. So the key is always to think about who's following you. And we love that expression, start with the end in mind, which is why we're starting with a place to accumulate these documents that are going to be so important for putting together your package of proof of how you spent the funds. So I'm going to create a series of these videos. This is just in general, and I hope this was helpful.